I'm Rob Licuria, Senior Editor at Gold Derby, here with Emmy-nominated visual effects supervisor Wojciech Zielinski. First of all, Wojciech, I was thinking how it must be challenging to strike the right balance between honoring the visual aesthetic that is familiar to fans of the game, but also taking creative liberties so that the show stands on its own. So talk me through that challenge.
Yeah, so as excuse me, it was quite challenging, especially since the new showrunner actually slightly approached the show in a different way. Basically, he decided to go with a slightly different style. He was truly aiming for something much grounded. Something looking very gritty, something which would allow the audience to feel like they are with the heroes of the show. And therefore, we had to basically, kind of reject whatever we inherited from season one, actually, and approach and adjust to this new approach, right? Of course, the leading person is the production designer, right, who is in charge. So he was basically helping us, or helping the entire production and everyone else actually to kind of embrace this new look. And of course, after few meetings, it was quite obvious for us, what the new look is supposed to be, right? And I don't want to say it was easy, but it was pretty kind of straightforward for us and our team.
It's a huge challenge to reboot or change up the look of a show for season two because it could it could go so badly. And thankfully,
Mhm.
I think season two is not necessarily an improvement on one. I really loved one as well, but I
Mhm.
just the show's gone into a bit of a different direction. And it reminded me of this question. What are the predominant VFX techniques on this show now? Is it mainly post-production CGI? Is it volume virtual production? Is it in-camera special effects? Talk me through that.
Well, predominantly is basically visual effects in post production. I mean, obviously, we were kind of overseeing the whole process of production. We were very active during the pre-production as well. I mean, we had to sort of figure out how we're gonna shoot certain effects, right? But yeah, it's a lot of CG components. And creatures, of course, number one. I mean, Sangili warriors. We introduce Arbiter, which is the new character. We introduce Utom Dama. We did sort of revise the look of Cortana, right? So again, we embraced a slightly different approach. It was kind of plate-based approach. And as you probably notice, there is a lot of set extensions, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm just talking, these are sort of like the hero, sort of a hero effects, right? And there was quite a lot of that actually to say, to tell you the truth. I mean, only in general we had around 2,600 shots, right? But so it was big undertaking, yeah. But a big chunk of it was the hero shots. I mean, as you imagine, we had to create those otherworldly, environments as well, right? The show was entirely shot in Hungary. No, not entirely, actually. I would lie. We went to Iceland to shoot
Oh
part
yeah.
of the. Yeah, we shoot to shoot part of the sanctuary, right? And then also we went to Slovenia in Italy to shot the final battle between the Arbiter and the Master Chief, right? So on the Halo, right? So, but the rest of the season was shot entirely in Hungary.
I didn't know about the Slovenia and Italy part because I want to talk about some examples of your work. Like in the season finale, particularly when Master Chief kills, spoiler alert, Arbiter Vargatane, I just thought that whole sequence was breathtaking. And what was the most challenging part of getting that battle sequence just right?
Right. So basically, there were two challenges for that sequence. Number one, of course, was okay. How are we gonna pull it off with the creature? I mean, they are much larger than our stunt performers, right? And how that's going to translate, which part we're gonna use Digidouble for Master Chief, which shots we're gonna use Master Chief, in situ on location as it is, right? So it took us, a few rehearsals actually, because as you can imagine, we started the sequence with a stunt vis, right? The whole sequence was designed by stunt coordinator Philip Silvera, right? And then after seeing basically breaking it down into those beats, we figure out like, okay, well, this is how we're gonna this shot we're gonna approach as a full CG shot in terms of the creature and the Digidouble, right? And in some cases, we used basically performer wearing Master Chief suit, and we were just adding the creature. As far as the as sort of executing these shots, right? We early in the process we decided actually to implement or introduce the accent suits to capture motion capture data, during the shoot. So literally, the data which we're receiving was precisely reflecting what we could see on the screen. Of course, once you get the data, the animators need to, translate that from, human performance into the creature performance, right? But it gave us a fantastic foundation, for the work in the post. So that was for the action, right? But also it was the Halo environment. When we arrived in Slovenia, actually it was a very early spring, and as a matter of fact, a week before there was a big snowfall, right? So we were like, yes, exactly. We're like, what are we gonna do now, right? But we were lucky enough that the weather got warmer, right? And so all the snow literally disappeared a couple of days before the shoot. So at the art department, set deck, and locations that miracles to get it ready actually for the shoot. Having said that, the environment, as beautiful as it was, but actually didn't have this lush, rich look. So, after shooting the action, after evaluating everything, we decided, okay, well, VFX unit is going back, 6 weeks later, Slovenia, right, to actually shoot the plates. So each shot, as a matter of fact, was augmented, right? So yeah, so it was quite a challenge, right? But I I, I hope that
Yeah, it pays off.
looks good. Yeah, exactly.
Like you're doing 10 feature films. That's how I see this. Like it is so the volume and scale of this show is just there's not a lot like it on TV. It's incredible. And then you look at something that might be maybe more, you might say less of scope and scale would be something like Guilty Spark. That could have turned out kind of really clunky and kind of fake looking, but I felt like it was integrated into the show really beautifully. So can you talk me through the Guilty Spark AI and trying to make it look as realistic as possible?
Well, you're referring to this one shot at the end of the show, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, it's no secret it's a full CG shot, right? So, it it's been a super easy task really for us with this particular shot, because our production designer James Foster had a very clear vision actually what he wanted to see in the shot, right? So obviously in collaboration with the director, but it was pretty obvious, from the concept art and from our discussions, what needs to be done, and truly, all we had to do is really execute this idea, right? Bring this vision to the screen, and it's starting from building the asset. I mean, the Spark is the asset which we inherited from season one. We haven't done any changes. We wanted to be kind of faithful to what was established in season 1. And then obviously, as I said earlier, just building the environment or building that digital set, right? It's like an interior of a Forerunner structure with very kind of distinct, kind of lines, right? And then, the two, bigger challenges were, okay, how we add a little bit of a personality to this park. And that was, in the mighty hands of the animators, right? Exactly. So, and they nailed it. And then the second one was really also help us really, to add a little bit more mystery to through the lighting, right? So we wanted, at the head of the shot, we just wanted to suggest, that there is something behind, there is some sort of a structure. Then when the spark turns around and flies away, that light is just leaking, those elements, right? And just give us a glimpse of, what it is. And then again, it just, fades to dark.
Yeah, see, it's those little nuances that I feel just elevate the work from something that could have come out quite cartoonish. And
Mm-hmm.
that brings me to this, and it also really highlights this show more than many others, the relationship between the VFX supervisor, the on-set VFX supervisor, and the production designer. Like, you both have to be completely on the same page, otherwise the show's just not going to soar, right? Do you agree that that's something that you have to foster that from day one?
Oh, absolutely. And we were very lucky actually to have James on board, right? I mean, and we had a constant kind of collaboration on, on many designs, right? We were part of, that sort of a designing process as well. It was always the question was, is this going to work for VFX or not, right? Would you like to change anything that would help you guys? So yeah, so that was a big advantage. But I want to add to this that we also had a fantastic collaboration with DOPs, right? Who
Yeah.
were really really involved, and every episodes we were preparing for. We had discussions. Where do we put lights, right? What is the look of the shot? Like, imagine you have a shot 360 blue, right? So, it's like we actually need to commit to something. So there was kind of pitching ideas, back and forth, like, how about this? How about this, right? And it was just fantastic, It's like the overall team. And to add to this, other departments as well, right? It's the makeup department with the special effects, with the pyro team, gaffers. It's I have to say that it was a pleasure actually to work with this team. Yeah.
I can imagine the sound team, Sparks and Shadow on the score.
Yeah.
Like, it's just everyone's hitting their A game. And this is the best compliment I think I can give, is that I never really know what's in camera, what's set extension, what's real, what's the DP done, what's the visual. It's just so seamless. And it brings me to this question. Is the pressure to create something photo real without any artifice this constant pressure that you have and your team has? Because these days the audience is really sophisticated and we are expecting the best of the best, and as soon as it doesn't hit that mark, we sometimes are out of the story. And I feel in Halo, I'm because I'm so immersed in this visual, it's such a visual show that
Mhm.
hitting that photorealistic mark, the show doesn't work. And how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think that the proverbial photoreal is a bread and butter of visual effects. I mean, there are a few exceptions, right, in which the shows are really stylized,
Yeah.
but it's what all of us wants to achieve, actually, to create something which will seamlessly blend with the practical set or what is capturing the camera. And needless to say, I mean, there's a team of people working on it, to collect the data, right? All kinds of data, like photogrammetry, lidar scan, photo survey, texture library building, lighting references, right? There's the whole army of people actually working to collect the data, so later on in the post we can use it and seamlessly kind of blend the real world with the virtual one.
Yeah. final question is this one, because I've always wanted to know about the flood, because I love the way that it's been integrated into the story and the way that it eats away at the victims is so harrowing. Were there many inspirations between you and the production design team in those visuals and making them as horrifying and gritty as they actually look on screen?
Well, flood and also as all the creatures, right? These are actually all designed by the visual effects team, right?
Really?
So yes, so in this particular case, we had the privilege actually to play with it because we love actually designing stuff as well, right? Yeah, totally. But the main inspiration actually is the flood from the game, right? We're trying to stay, as close to the original design as possible. So even if you look at the flat seed, right, it's actually pretty similar to what was in the game, and the same goes for for the combat form, right? And the biggest challenge was how to show flood without spoiling what's coming in season 3, if there is season 3, of course, right? But the whole idea was that we want to actually tease with flood, right? But we don't want to show too much, right? We want to sort of keep the cards pretty close to our chest. So there's just this kind of few moments or few couple of shots where we really see that predominantly the combat form starts evolving, and I'm not sure if you know the game, but actually there's more to it, right? So later on, there's a big potential actually to build upon it. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, we have a lot to look forward to. Paramount Plus, get onto that third season renewal, please.
Absolutely.
Hurry up. In the meantime, Wojciech, thank you so much for your time and your insight today. It was really fascinating.
No problem. Thank you for having me. Thank you.